tap the power, make the most important financial decision of your life, which is to stop trading time for money, to become an owner, not just to somebody who is, buying things, but somebody who has become an investor. And the way you have to do that is by deciding a percentage you're going to save, and you're going to keep that and put into a financial freedom fund. You're going to take that money before you see it, put it aside, and you're going to invest it. In fact, most people describe what happens with, let's say, a fighter, even somebody as brilliant as Money Mayweather, brilliant guy, unbelievable fighter. But if you talk to nobody less than 50 Cent, his former friend and partner, he said, let me tell you what he does. He goes out and he fights, he gets the money, he spends the money, and then he fights. He said, and he carries around a Louis Vuitton bag full of literally $1 million in cash, just in case anything special happens he wants to take advantage of. So God forbid if something happens to this man and his ability to fight, he could be in real trouble. We can't do that. And it's easy to make fun of somebody else and go, well, look at what they're doing. But don't most Americans really, instead of fight, say work, earn the money, spend the money, work? That cycle is the worst cycle on earth, and that's a cycle I want to get you out of right now, today, by tapping the power and making step one the most important investment decision in your life. So what the heck is it? Well, what if you decided that you were no longer going to be a financial trader? What are you talking about, Tony? I'm not a financial trader. I don't invest in stocks. I don't do that stuff all day long. Most Americans are financial traders, even though they don't think of themselves that way. Why? Because if you're trading time for money, you're making the worst financial trade in the world. Your goal, and the goal I have for you with this book, is to make money your slave. You want money to work for you, so you don't have to. Until that happens, you'll always have some level of uncertainty or fear or stress or insecurity, because there's only so many things that can happen that mess up your income flow, and you're in trouble. What would it feel like if you could build what I would call a money machine? Something that made money while you slept. Something that literally every day of your life, even if you weren't working, could provide you an income without ever having to work again. Because I ask people all the time, what are you investing for? And people say, well, I don't know, I'm doing my 401k so someday I can retire, or I'm investing so that I can get, more assets or a bigger nest egg. No, you're not. You're investing for one thing and one thing only. You're investing because you want an income. You want an income that will last longer than you live. In fact, I mentioned before, the number one fear of baby boomers today is that not they're going to die. That's their number two fear. The number one fear is I want to run out of money while I'm alive. And millennials have the same fear because, according to statistics, about 70 to 75% of the people are going to run out of money before they die. And we're all living longer. So the chance of that happening is off the charts unless you and I create a money machine. What does that mean? It's really simple. The most important financial decision of your life is deciding that a portion of all the money you earn in your life is yours to keep. That you're not going to give it up. It's for you and for your family, and you're going to keep a portion of what you earn forever, and you're going to grow it. That you're not going to give it to, Kate Spade. You're not going to give it to The Gap. You're not going to give it to whoever you normally gave it to. You're going to keep that for yourself, and you're going to grow it into something that literally will make it so you don't have to work as long as you live. I call it a money machine because it's really simple. If you were to just think of yourself right now as you're a money machine, if you take a look at this graphic, here you are, you work your tail off, and what happens? You use your efforts to get money. You trade time for money, you take work and effort for money. But what if you just did something so simple? You already know to do it, you're just not probably doing it at the level that you could. What if you made a decision that a percentage of what you earn, you're never going to see it, it's just going to instantly and automatically be put into building this money machine? Where you're going to take a portion of what you earn, 10%, 15%, 8%, 20%. You get to decide the number. But a portion of what you earn, no matter what, before you ever see it, it's almost like a tax, but the tax is paid to you instead of the government. The tax is for your future self. The tax is about creating financial freedom, so you're not like most people who end up their life being stressed out all the time, where you're the person that can do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whomever you want, because you got freedom. How do you get there? You take a portion of this money that you've done right now and you've earned, you automatically start to fill up this money machine.
Problems need energy to live. I want you to own that. Remember this, problems need energy to live. And so the concept should be that we solve problems, but we don't have to pour and deplete ourselves of energy. Because the more energy you give something, the more it expands. We want to be in the max out universe. We want to pour our energy and expense our energy towards the solution not towards the problem. So the first thing I want you to write down is 90% of your energy, focus, time, and thought should be towards the solution, not towards the problem itself. This is a mistake most people make because they expend all the energy into the problem. They obsess over the problem. And when you expand energy, it grows to survive. And the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the solution becomes more and more difficult. So the first thing is, can you consciously begin to focus on energy expansion into the solution, 90% of it into the solution and not into the problem. What we do is we repeat that problem over and over and over again, and we magnify it to the point where we don't come up with realistic solutions and we deplete ourselves as energy towards the solution. And so focus going forward, when a problem arises and a challenge arises, that you focus 90% of your energy and thoughts on the solution and not repeating the problem to yourself.
There's three areas of your life that, I think are important, right? One is really mastering your mind, right? Your thought process, and that's nothing new. The real question is, at one level, how do we become more self-aware of the thoughts that are driving all of our process? But more importantly, how do we change our thinking? How do we change the habitual patterns of thinking that we've become addicted to? And so that then cascades into, our emotional responses that we have with life around us and our perceptions. So how do we reorient ourselves in a way that is congruent with the life that we actually want to create, or the business that we want to create, or the relationships that we want to create, or the health that we want to have? Because we tend to just continue to experience the same experiences over and over and over and over. And there's nothing fundamentally wrong with us in the fact that we live this sort of Bill Murray Groundhog Day type of existence, right? It's the way the technology and the operating system of the human being has been designed. But now we're entering this really interesting period where I think personal growth is evolving into the next level, where we're able to utilize the tech to really tap into higher levels of intelligence and become, what a lot of people refer to as superhuman.
So what gets people stuck in the first place?
There are a number of things that get people stuck. I mean, let's talk about beliefs for a second. What are beliefs? Beliefs are the meanings that we gave the experiences of our life, mostly before the age of 7, before a significant portion of the prefrontal cortex is fully formed. We gave meanings to the experiences of our life, or other people gave meanings to the experiences that we were having, right? I remember distinctly one time, I grew up in Orange County, California, and I don't know why in first grade they had us choose which mission we wanted to build along, we had Mission San Juan Capistrano.
Interesting.
So at a paper mache and clay, I'm building Mission San Juan Capistrano in my garage, and my dad walks in and he says, "Hey, let me show you a better way to do that." The meaning I gave that experience was I didn't know how to do it right. And just because of the way the technology works, what happens is that starts to shape the lens through which we experience the future experiences of our life. So the next time you have an experience, you're approaching that experience through the not knowing how to do it right. And because the brain is a goal-achieving machine, that's all we start to notice, right, is what we're not doing right, and in really no recognition of what we're doing well. So we get caught in this psycho-cybernetic loop.